Hello and welcome to my video all about how to do applique using whip stitches. Whip stitches are quick and easy to do, and you'll recognise them as short diagonal stitches. Usually applique involves attaching a fabric shape onto a larger flat piece of fabric. Most often the applique is made of a non-fraying fabric such as felt or fleece. In my example today I'm going to be attaching a felt circle onto a felt backing piece of fabric. When using whip stitches for applique, the whip stitches are going to be very visible on the finished project. Because of this, you'll normally use a thicker than usual thread that's designed to be seen. For instance, I'm using a fairly thick size 8 crochet thread, but often embroidery floss is the most popular choice. This is unlike other hand sewing techniques, where the aim is to blend the thread into the project and make the stitches as invisible as possible. So the first thing you need to do is cut a piece of thread that's at least 4 or 5 times the length of the edge that you're going to stitch. You're then just going to tie a regular knot in one end and feed the other end into a regular hand sewing needle. Because my applique shape is just a small circle, I'm just going to hold it onto the backing felt with my hand. However, if you're going to be attaching a shape that's larger or more awkward, you can use some kind of fabric adhesive. Okay, so the first step is to push the needle from the back of the felt to the top. You want the needle to emerge right next to the edge of the applique. The next step is to take the needle through both layers from front to back, and then pull the thread tight. My aim is to have every stitch pointing towards the central point of the circle. This way the stitches will look nice and neat. And then you repeat those steps. So you bring the needle up next to the raw edge of the applique, and then through both layers to the back. And you simply repeat this all the way along the edge. The length of the stitches that you're going to use and the distance between the stitches is completely up to you, but normally I work on a default of 1/4 inch. So 1/4 inch for the stitch length and 1/4 inch between the stitches. You can change this depending on personal preference, the type of fabric you're using, and the size of your project. You want to make stitches that are in proportion to the size of your project, and you want enough stitches so that your applique is strongly attached. Really, the most important thing is to keep the stitches consistent and evenly spaced. When you get close to finishing, make sure that you plan out where the stitches are going to go so that you don't end up with the last couple of stitches too close together or too far apart. Once you've finished the last whip stitch, your needle will be at the back of the fabric. And then all you need to do is secure the thread. So you take the needle under a nearby stitch, tighten the thread enough until there's just a small loop remaining, and then feed the needle through that loop and tighten. And then again take the needle under the nearest stitch, tighten until there's a small loop, take the needle through the loop and tighten. And then simply cut off the excess thread. And that's the whip stitch applique completed. I really hope you found this video useful, and thank you very much for watching.